Cinema.
With your host, Max.
Max is not here, sorry. He's in Florida. He's Floridian.
Then who the fuck is this?
This is Moo Cow.
Moo Cow?
Moo Cow, and I'm John. This is Eric.
Hi.
We're people.
We're memory cards.
Our opinions matter.
I'm wearing a hoodie. So what's up, man?
Let's see. I guess the first thing we should really talk about, we need to talk about this.
Oh.
Batman vs. Superman's out.
Oh.
People are pissed.
Oh, no.
Why? This movie looked like it was going to be so good, though.
You know, I'm going to say this before we start.
Yeah.
I have a 100% track record in calling this shit, and it is pretty nice.
You are pretty accurate most of the time.
And now it's extended into film. It used to just be a game thing.
Yep. You called Tony Hawk 5 for sure.
I called Tony Hawk 5. I called, well, I guess it's 2. But still, that's 2 things I've called. That's a perfect record when I've only attempted it twice. So
2 out of 2. Just don't ever attempt it again, and you can say you're 100% right.
Well, I have $100 riding on Final Fantasy 15, so I got to keep that.
That's true.
Rolling. Although that's not a quality thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a different
argue.
debate. It's kind of a different debate.
You could argue,
and there's a decent chance you might be.
I wouldn't say
wrong
that.
about it.
I wouldn't say that. Anyway, so you want to see this movie? Why?
You know, I don't know why I want to see it anymore. Originally, I wanted to see it because, well, maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be good.
First of all, that's the argument you told me yesterday is so hilarious to me, which is I'm so sick of Marvel shit, specifically.
I really am.
Well, like,
I'm just sick of those fucking 4 or 5 franchises being recycled over and over again, and I'm almost that way with Batman. But because really, Batman might be like the most recycled thing at this point.
But here's the thing with Marvel. Like, first of all, they have all these fucking properties that either you've never heard of or they're attempting. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy was fucking new. Jessica Jones is like a brand new thing. Daredevil hasn't been attempted since that awful Ben Affleck movie, and they did it justice.
And they're attempting it in a whole different way too.
Yeah,
so that's fair.
And then in the movies, with the ones that are like coming back and back, the thing is that they are having an arc and a progression. They are not just staying the same character.
The thing that was dicking with me was like the past 6-7 years of building up to the Avengers. Like, that's what was really dicking with me. Now that they've kind of gotten over that Avengers hump, and they're starting to experiment a little bit more, like Civil War, you know, it looks like it could be a little bit different. You know, I might not, you know, I'm kind of getting over it. But, like, it was just Iron Man, here's Thor, here's the Hulk, here's Iron Man, here's Thor, here's the Hulk.
Iron Man.
Here's the Avengers.
But, like, did you see Captain America 2? Because it was fucking awesome.
They took some different directions with it. Now, we're talking about Batman vs. Superman.
I know, but, like... my point is, take that and compare that to Man of Steel.
I really didn't hate Man of Steel.
I did.
I mean, a lot of people did. What's the director's name? Zack
Snyder.
People were pissed at him. I also kind of have the benefit of not really knowing a whole shitload about the lore.
Sure.
Like, I've read the comics maybe like a mediocre amount, like maybe even less than that.
Mm-hmm.
Like less than average. I have less than average knowledge when it comes to Batman lore. Like, I get it. I know who Commissioner Gordon is. I know what the whole thing is. I know who the Joker is. I know who Two-Face is. Like, I get it, but I didn't read all the fucking comics. I can't watch a movie and be like, oh, they did that wrong. That's not how it happened in the comics.
See,
like, I don't know enough to be able to make that criticism. So I can kind of enjoy it a little bit more.
But, like, do you have that with Marvel? Like, do you know what's coming up?
I mean, and maybe that's a disadvantage with Marvel because there's like so many things that they got right with the movies, and that's why a lot of people are liking them. And maybe I'm not getting to see that.
Yeah. I mean, I know I dabble in both, and with DC, and I'm gonna explain why I called it and the reason. But with DC, I'm under the impression if you're not Batman, everything's pretty stale. And I really do feel that way. Like, I kind of feel like they have one fucking character that's really neat, and once you add other characters to it, it's less interesting. Justice League is so much more boring than Batman being a vigilante on his own. Like, you know, because it kind of defeats the purpose. Because Batman's cool because it's just one fucking idiot that goes out in town dressed up as a bat and he's beating the shit out of poor people. You put that in a superhero group and he's now just an authority figure. And it's boring.
Right.
But here's the reason I knew this movie was going to be bad. Well, a couple. One, Man of Steel was shit. 2, they had planned for 5 years of future movies already. They're banking the hell on this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But, like...
But enough more they can chew with it.
They're so ambitious, but they never accomplished anything beforehand. Like, you can say that the Batman movies are good, but they're not DC movies. They were Christopher Nolan movies.
Right.
Or Tim Burton movies.
Right.
They have never made a good DC movie. They just haven't. Like, Green Lantern was shit. Green Lantern was so bad that Marvel fucking got him back. Ryan Reynolds. And he's just like, get me the fuck out of here.
Come home to Deadpool.
So you have that, but I think the real thing that told me this was going to be bad was every single time there was an interview, Zack Snyder's like, we're going to have no jokes in the DC universe. This is going to be straight, serious, boring as fuck, uninteresting.
Dark. They want everything to be dark and gritty, even though Superman is not a dark and gritty thing.
Yeah, and it didn't work. Now, it works more with Batman. But, like, if you're going to make a movie that's that dark doesn't mean shit. Episode 3 from Star Wars is dark, right?
Right.
You need something to offset it. The Last of Us...
Or there needs to be a reason for it to be dark.
Well, here's
it
the
can't
thing.
just be dark for the sake of being dark.
You need just juxtaposition, right? Take The Last of Us, one of the greatest written things ever, and everyone loves it, and it's well-directed. Fucking, that is a game where Ellie is in the back of a car looking at a porn magazine, and it's funny.
Yeah.
You need that lighthearted element.
There's funny moments.
So when the dark happens, you can feel it.
And
Otherwise,
the moment with
it's
the
going to be
giraffes,
boring as shit.
The moment with the giraffes in the building.
But right now, I think this is going to be the most boring fucking movie.
Well, my thing is, like, really, it seems like the casting is what really set this on a course for disaster. Because, I mean, and there are some choices which are worse than others. You know, they're not all bad choices. I personally would not have chosen Ben Affleck to be Bruce Wayne.
Sure.
But I could see it happening, you know, if it's directed well enough. I would not have chosen that girl from the Fast and Furious movies to be Wonder Woman. But I could see it happening, you know, I guess. But the big thing is Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg as fucking Lex Luthor. That's just not right. That's just wrong. There's no way for that to be right. Unless maybe you were doing it, like, in a lighthearted, like, maybe Marvel-y kind of way, if you were doing that. But, I mean, he doesn't...
Well,
there's nothing about him that says to me, he should play Lex Luthor. Why not get Mr. T? He would actually probably be better.
I think you're kind of explaining another one of my problems with it. Like, when Marvel makes a character, you usually don't know who the fucking actor is that's playing him. Who the fuck knows this guy, Tom whatever, who's playing Spider-Man? I've never heard of this guy.
No.
It's a good thing, because that means you see the movie. I'm not thinking, man, that's Will Smith playing Deadshot.
Right.
And you need that. Now, you could argue Robert Downey Jr., but he was not that big name
It was really
until Iron Man.
It was kind of a comeback for him.
And
He had
Chris
been out of
Evans,
movies for a long time.
Chris Evans became big because of Captain America. These people became iconic to the character.
Sure.
But like Jaden, like Will Smith's son is about to be Static Shock. Fucking kill me. Like, I'm sorry. When I see big name actors, I see them as them. I'm not gonna see them as these characters. I'm always gonna see Jim Carrey as Jim Carrey playing the Riddler, not
Right.
fucking not the Riddler. I can't break away from it. Mm-hmm. And I think...
And that matters with when you're talking about roles that are so infamous. Like
what if
that,
Star Wars starred like somebody famous beforehand, like the new one? What if it starred like, I don't know,
like Harrison Ford or somebody?
Well, not Harrison Ford became famous because of Star Wars, but like, I don't know what fucking shit. I'm trying to think of famous
like
people.
if Jack Nicholson were in it.
If Johnny Depp was the main character of Star Wars, like you would just be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like why the fuck is Johnny Depp in like fighting the Sith right now?
Yeah.
Or the New World Order or whatever the fuck they're called.
Although there are a million famous people in the new Star Wars, but they're all hidden behind CG or whatever. But anyway, it's
I get your point.
This movie's gonna suck.
The roles need to you need to be able to believe it more.
Yeah.
And when you're seeing Johnny Depp, you don't believe that he could be Spider-Man.
The whole appeal of a superhero is that I'm supposed to look at it.
I can't believe Jesse Eisenberg is fucking Lex Luthor. Aside from the fact that that's just a terrible casting choice.
Yeah.
I already know Jesse Eisenberg from fucking Zombieland and all these other awkward movies. It's just there's no fucking way I'm ever gonna buy him as Lex Luthor. I'm just never gonna do it. Now Ben Affleck, I feel like I could buy him as Batman.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. It's not the worst casting. Although I'm always gonna see him as fucking Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
He's never gonna be Batman.
They could do a lot better. It would
be a lot better if I didn't know who the fucking guy was.
Some new face.
Although it's also too soon, because I mean, when was Rises? Batman Rises or whatever, Dark Knight Rises.
2013
not that long
maybe.
Ago.
2012, 2013.
Well, I mean, there hasn't been that long wait.
Right.
Like, if you're talking about me being sick of superheroes, like there have been more Batman movies produced than any other fucking superhero that exists. like
There's a
that
lot of
exists
Batman
right
movies.
now. Because even if you're gonna say
They've gotten away with it though. Most of them are good.
even if you're gonna say that's true, but even if you're gonna say like Iron Man is in fucking all the time, he's not the main character every fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
This time, Batman has been the main character now 4 times in a row in the past how many years? I'm sick of Batman. I love the guy, and that's not even counting the fucking Arkham games and all this other shit
That's true.
that we're all into.
I'm sick of Batman as well, and I hate to say it because
Yeah.
even like when Batman Arkham Knight came out and I was playing it, I was just like, God, I'm so sick of this.
Yeah, but like
It was all my favorite voice actors from the cartoon. It had everything. I'm not even talking about like the fact that they did the tank battling too much.
Yeah.
I mean, the game could have been a perfect 10 out of 10. I still would have been like, fuck, I'm tired of this guy.
And this is a nitpick, but fucking Marvel, they make a TV show, it's all canon because those characters are not in the movies or they will be someday. Fucking there is a show called Arrow that exists, Flash that exists, and none of those actors are the ones in the movies. The plots are separate. So what's the point of watching them? Because they don't matter. Arrow
Straight as an arrow.
is just fucking has nothing to do with the movies. They're
Man.
making separate worlds and universe. It's just so much bullshit.
It's I think they really screwed the pooch on this. Now the question is,
Yeah.
are they going to stick with this
No.
and keep going down this path?
They're rebooting it in 5 years.
You think?
I'm calling it now.
They're kind of married to it though. Like
No, they're
if
not.
they were to leave this movie and then start over, they would be admitting, okay, we fucked that up. That sucks.
It wouldn't be the first time they did.
Well, I mean, that makes it even less likely they would want to do it again, right?
My answer to that is Amazing Spider-Man. They made these movies called Amazing Spider-Man. They're so bad that fucking Sony's like, just take it, fucking do it
I really
right.
didn't even hate those. The third one was kind of bad.
There's only
but-
2 of them.
Oh, I was you're talking about
Amazing
the
Spider-Man,
okay.
not Spider-Man.
I was talking about
the
Tobey
ones
Maguire.
with what's his?
Toby.
Yeah, not Tobey Maguire, the other guy.
Tobey Maguire.
No, those are the originals. I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
See, I'm talking
You're
about
talking about
the
a
recent.
British boy.
Yeah, British boy.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. But he's a
Those
Brit.
fucking got rebooted so
He's a
quick.
Brit. Why don't you Brits stop taking over American movies?
Doctor Who.
I like Hugh Jackman, but go back to your go back to your
DC
go back to your tea
cast.
and your crumpets.
We've been talking for this
And your
like
scrumps.
15 minutes.
All right. So PlayStation 4.5.
Oh god.
We have another independent report, unconfirmed by Sony, but yet another
God.
independent report that there's somebody in the UK working on PlayStation 4.5. And it seems like it might be not its own console, but an add-on type situation.
That's the better way to handle it.
a Sega 32X for the PlayStation 4,
I'll
which
take.
scares me.
I get that, but like
It's going to make things confusing. People are going to go into GameStop and say, hey, I need a PlayStation 4 game. This is a PlayStation 4.5 game. What? I don't know what that means. I'm going to Walmart. So then Sony's going to lose out on that money.
Would you?
It's going to be a Wii U type situation.
I mean, well, it's different from Wii U because that was a separate console with the name confusion.
Well, the name confusion is the problem I'm referencing.
I'm sure that's not the final name, but whatever it's called, they're probably going to call it Memory Add-on or whatever the fuck.
Hopefully, that would help if they did call it something like that.
My problem and worry is that does this mean that the PS4 will be obsolete without it? It probably will.
If they can work out a way for that, all the PlayStation 4.5 games could still run on your PS4, but it would just like automatically downscale a little bit.
See,
If
I
they
don't
could
think
figure
it's
that out.
realistic. Now, when I hear, I think they're
You can
now
do it with
calling
PC
it
games.
4K is what
Right.
they're calling it, and which says to me maybe all this is just them boosting up for 4K TVs. That's what I'm hoping for.
I'd be okay with that.
Like like
If it's just something you get for your PS4 to make your games perform a
just
little better.
upscales
It's
it.
the same library,
Yeah.
but they just perform a little better. If they did that, sure, it's just a boost for your PS4.
Yeah, that is
That would
what
be
it
fine.
should be.
In fact, that would be kind of neat.
I think so. But if you go too far with it, that's playing with fire.
Yeah, it
I
is
feel
playing
like.
with fire because eventually you could cross a line where this game that comes out real late in the life cycle might not work for somebody who didn't get the booster. Might not work. real
Xbox
well.
is having the same talks, by the
Yeah.
way. Microsoft is thinking about having updated new consoles and treat it like a phone, which is no.
Fuck Microsoft, man.
Well, Microsoft doesn't know what they're
Fuck
doing anymore.
them while I edit this video on my Windows PC.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't have a choice.
I don't. I
mean,
hate Mac
you
so much.
You get a Mac, you
I hate
fucking
Mac.
get Ubuntu or Linux. And
I've never
fuck
really messed
that.
around with Linux, but I hate Mac. I know that.
Linux is great if you are not a gamer. And you just care about programming, which I don't personally, so I'll
And-
never use it.
Yeah, or like customization.
I
guess.
was really close, by the way, to getting a Steam OS that Gabe Newell was making until I found out that the SteamOS actually makes games run worse than on Windows, which defeats the whole purpose of getting SteamOS.
Yeah.
Because the idea was originally how it was sold is that, hey, Windows uses all this resources, you could just get SteamOS and then all the resources are put towards the game. But if you have a worse frame rate, I don't think that's fucking doing that. So, 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10?
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the actual topic of the show. Which
Video
is
games?
what I wanted to get to last week. Didn't get around to it because we got carried away.
Oh.
But our favorite game characters.
God damn
I feel like
it.
we should try our best. Maybe not to pick one because that's just impossible.
Sure.
But, name a couple. First one that comes to mind to me would be Joel from The Last of Us.
That's a good pick.
And not only is he one of my favorite characters, but he's really underrated because, I mean, that's anyone, when you talk about The Last of Us, everyone immediately starts talking about Ellie, which is fine. I get that. She's a great character. She's fun. She's acted real well. But Joel goes through so much shit. And, like, you see glimpses of him becoming a good person. You see glimpses of him being a bad person. And I don't want to spoil anything, but you see a lot of both. And he's just a really, really expertly fleshed out character. He stands out to me. He's I can't say he's my favorite game character of all time because that's just impossible to determine. But man, he's up there. He's got to be up there for me.
What's
What about you?
interesting about Last of Us, I just want to expand on that, is that I think their arcs are backwards between the two, and that's what makes it interesting. Because you have Ellie, who becomes this strong, basically coldened person by the end.
Coldened.
Yeah, well, whatever the term
I know
is.
what you mean.
Like she's
She chills it out.
she's been through enough shit where she's dead inside, pretty much, and she's willing to accept horrible, horrible things. I'm not going to get into detail. And I feel like Joel actually ends up more of the child by the end of that story. He ends up a selfish little twat.
He downgrades.
And that's what's so interesting is she's carrying him at the
He
end.
runs out of steam. He just runs out of will to do anything. Like he's out of sacrifices.
Yeah.
He runs out of them. He says it's hard to say this without spoiling the end, so I won't. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And
Crash
really,
Bandicoot dies.
if you haven't played The Last of Us,
Fucking get on
it's
it.
2016. Get your fucking shit together.
Ain't as good as The Witcher, but it up there.
It's on 2 systems. All right, one of which you should own.
The Sony one.
At the very least, fucking watch it on YouTube.
That's awful.
Which is people do it. I don't know.
If I gotta...
I wouldn't do it.
I'm gonna
but-
start easy with game characters, because, like, I've been racking for a while, and I don't have names, but, like, I will say this, and I'm gonna get yelled at, because I always go to this, but it's an easy one to start with. Undertale is pretty easy. It's easy. It's quick.
All right.
Fucking, how can you not love Sands of Papyrus? They're fucking
Papyrus
great.
is awesome.
Papyrus and Sands are such well-written, hilarious, interesting
They are
characters.
super well written. The
But
text noise.
I'm also gonna go on the fucking Naughty Dog thing, but in a character that probably doesn't get a lot of. Victor Sullivan from the Uncharted games is probably one of the most likable old men in video gaming.
Yeah.
Fucking that cigar in his mouth, fucking cocky asshole.
You seen his voice actor?
I have.
He looks like an awesome guy.
I love that guy. And
Yeah.
the character, I mean, like, we're talking about a guy who's like, man, I'm sweating like a hooker in church. Like, how can you not love that man? I would want to spend
a
a whole
great
day
character.
and just hear him tell stories.
You know what I think they could do after Uncharted 4? If they want to keep that franchise alive, which I know they're going to, make a fucking game about Sully when Sully was Drake's age. Because, when he teamed up with Drake, when Drake was a child, you get a little bit of that in Uncharted 3. You see a little bit of that flashback. Sully was a grown man.
It's true.
He'd been through some shit.
He'd been
There's
through
a
some shit.
universe there. They could tap into that. I bet they already know that.
I don't fully know though what his history was, because from what I
He
understand,
taught Drake how to do stuff, so I
That's
imagine
true.
he'd been on at least a couple adventures.
That's true. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I honestly, I think they're just gonna let Uncharted die after 4. I feel like this is the closure, and all
They should
that.
definitely let it die at least for a while. I think they could bring it back though with a Sully game.
I'll say another game that
Depends on how it ends.
I've been playing for a while, but I will say this, and I'm cheating, but
Cheat.
I've been playing Witcher, and it's a book character, but they got it so right.
Books.
Fucking holy shit, they got all the characters right so well. Ciri is probably one of the best video game characters I've ever seen. Basically, there's a character in the book who's a child in the books, right? She's like I think 12, 13, but in the game it takes place like many years later, so she's like 22. She's probably one of the best main characters I've ever seen in a game. Like, there's
prominent character.
Yeah, you could say the story's more about her. Like, she's not the protagonist, but like if they wanted to make a Witcher 4, well, granted, I don't know how the branching paths go, but you could totally make the game based off of her because she's way more of like the badass, likable character.
Sure.
All
right.
How I could compare it is, I'd say you've seen Overwatch footage. You know
Yes.
Tracer from Overwatch. Imagine like
Which one was Tracer?
Tracer's like the cavalry here, and then she fucking zips and shoots shit.
I don't remember.
Okay, well,
Anyway, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's kind of like that in a medieval world, with you know, like she's very fucking like the kind of strong that isn't fucking stereotypical so much. You know, like even in a world full of shit, you can be a little sarcastic little twat, and I love that. And I don't know. I feel like that character has a lot of resonating value. I think I like her more in the game than in the books, but she's a kid in the book.
Cool.
So yeah.
Good one. You know what I've always liked? It's a simple choice, but I've always really liked Crash Bandicoot.
Sure.
Another Naughty Dog character.
We're all going back to Naughty Dog.
They make good characters, man.
They do.
But I was a kid, and I don't know if Crash Bandicoot was the first game I played on the system. It was either the first Medal of Honor or it was Crash Bandicoot. It was one of those two. I think I got them both at the same time. But anyway. And I don't know, it's an awesome character. He's a funny guy, funny character. Funny,
he used to have a
makes
really
faces.
stupid girlfriend in the first one, and she just disappeared.
She didn't have any lines, but you saw her very briefly.
And she had giant tits.
She did.
Yeah, she did.
And yeah.
What happened to her? And two, all of a sudden, it's Crash's sister, who was nothing like her. It's almost like she was written out of history.
Well, they kept those power-ups you could get, right? That were like, if you got 3 of her faces, then you go to the bonus
No,
level?
those are gone in the sequel.
Was that just in the first one?
That was just in the first one. She is in no form. They wrote her out.
Why? I wonder why.
Because they probably were like, maybe it's kind of dumb that we're always going to tits.
Maybe it's
Feminism. I'm a feminist. I'm sorry.
Anita Sarkeesian gave
Our
them
needs
a
is
call.
Gamergate called and
They got
said, "Fuck you,
Gamergate,
Crash Bandicoot," and they censored it, and they made a little girl, and then she rides a panda in the third game.
You know who else I kind of like?
Our needs is Sarkeesian.
No. I like where Anita Sarkeesian comes from.
Where's the internet?
Her initial idea of what she's trying to get across on the internet.
Like, are we
I
actually
get that.
talking feminism?
No, we're not. That's the end of
hope
that.
not. That's
But
awful.
I like Gabe Logan from Siphon Filter games.
I have a confession. Never played a Siphon Filter.
Really?
Nope.
You should.
I admit it's probably too late for me.
I don't know how you feel about PS1 because people playing those games when 3D models were new and they were jagged and they were twitchy, you can either get into those or you can't.
I feel like PS1 is like the most you can or you can't games possible. Like, the thing is...
You can get it. You play Crash Bandicoot, though.
Well,
same era.
Here's the thing, though. I'm just talking about game design, not even graphics, right? Like, if you play Metal Gear Solid, I would say that game has aged really well.
Yeah.
Right? From a gameplay perspective. Most PS1 games did not age well. Most PS1 games are early 3D, and they did not quite get what you're supposed to do with game design.
Yeah.
I feel like it really didn't come together till the PS2, where they figured out how to do that.
PS2, they really figured it out.
And honestly, I think the track record's a lot better on N64 if you're looking at it.
That was a more powerful machine.
Well, not even in terms of graphics. I'm just talking about pure game design. Like, PS1, you can have a game like Oddworld, and it's fucking amazing, but there was a lot of trash on that console. Play any movie-based game on the PS1, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The worst possible level designs, the worst possible
I remember
everything.
I played the Dragonheart game on the PS1. It's a
Dragonheart?
side-scrolling... Yeah, remember Dragonheart?
No.
Dennis Quaid?
No.
Sean Connery?
I don't remember this at all.
Oh, it's an amazing movie. They made a game, side-scrolling game, where it was kind of like the high-quality JPEGs or the low-quality JPEGs. And they just animated JPEGs of people.
Okay.
Like the old Mortal Kombat games.
Yeah.
They did that in Dragonheart, the game. And it was just side-scrolling kind of hack and slash, and it was really pretty bad. But for whatever reason, I was really into it as a kid, and I played it all the way through and beat it.
Sure.
But anyway.
The one I played that was a piece of shit was... You remember the movie Small Soldiers?
Yes.
I played the game of that.
Was that not good?
No, fuck no. But here's what's interesting about Small Soldiers. It does not take place in how the movie takes place. It doesn't take place in the world. It takes place in the world within the world of the characters of the toys. So, like... The lore of the plot of the game is about the characters of the toys for what they had designed for the kids. So,
Right.
like, the game
In
could
their
exist
world.
within that world, so to
Right.
speak. It was weird.
That is weird.
It was a fucking weird game.
I could see that maybe working though. If, if
It
they
did.
really had some talent behind it instead
Well,
of just throwing money at a studio and be like,
not
make a
those days.
Small Soldiers game, bye.
Not those days. PS2 had a little bit of that, too. Gazun!
Whoop. The licensed games never really. Very few were good.
No, they fucking they called it shovelware for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's because E.T. literally made them shovel it. Mm-hmm. The more you know.
That's all the music.
You should
goes.
do an editing trick for that. Because I feel like something should be done.
Man, I already spend too much time editing these.
I want to give you a job.
Give me some work.
Anyway.
Spyro the Dragon's good too.
I got news, actually. I thought of something. There was an announcement recently.
What?
A new Oddworld game coming out.
Oh, that's right. We talked about it.
It's not a direct remake.
It's a sequel.
It's
a
well,
true-
it's a reimagining.
Is Abe in it?
Yeah, it's here's the thing. It's a half remake, right? They've announced two things. They are doing
It's a third game. Third Abe game.
It's the same story of the second Abe game.
Oh,
Okay?
Exodus.
Yeah, it is Exodus, but they are going to redesign it and have many different changes, and it's a brand new game around the structure and the story of the second game. And the reason is because they promised forever ago they were going to make an Exodus remake before they made their brand new thing. Mm-hmm. And they said, we have enough money to do the new thing, but we're going to give you what you want, but we're not going to do a direct remake because you can just play the original.
That's fine.
We're good.
They want to stretch their legs a little bit.
Exactly.
I got that.
So I'm excited.
Well, Noon Tasty's awesome.
It was.
And it's out on the Vita now, I believe.
You should get it.
I gotta clear some stuff off my memory card first.
Radio?
On my Vita.
Oh.
I got Grand Theft Auto on there. I got some big ass games on there. I gotta come
GTA
off.
5 should not be on a Vita.
It's a PSP Grand Theft Auto.
I didn't know they could
Liberty City
put
Stories.
5 on a... Oh.
Liberty City Stories.
I forget.
And Vice City
I forget
Stories.
there's other GTAs that aren't.
There's a couple that were on the PSP and they were pretty solid.
I remember they were just ports, right?
well,
but
no,
with
no, no.
different plots and.
Well, they
characters.
ported them to the PS2 from PSP.
No,
but they were
I mean
PSP games.
like they were ports in the sense that the map was the same.
Yes, they were. It was basically the map and the graphics of the third Grand Theft Auto 3. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit, not quite on par with that, but I mean it was essentially those games with different stories.
Okay.
And they were solid. I remember playing them, and so I have one of them on my Vita, and that's taken up a bunch. And I have like a million PS1 games. I have almost all my PS1 games on the Vita.
Too many games.
Well, that's really like 60%, over half of what I do on my Vita is I just like having Metal Gear Solid or Resident Evil or,
Sure.
I like having my Silent Hill, a lot of my Final Fantasy VII's a big one. Like, I like having my
good
PS1 games that I really like. I like having those wherever I go.
Oh, speaking of RPGs, I did something insane.
Whoa.
I've been replaying a game that is old as fuck. You know how Persona is a Shin Megami Tensei spin-off? I've been playing the original Shin Megami Tensei on the Super Nintendo.
Wow.
And
I
man,
thought you didn't have a Super Nintendo.
I don't. I'm a
Emulation?
dirty man.
Dirty boy.
Although to be fair, that game never came out in America legally anyway. So it's a fucking translated thing. So it's as legal as I can get it. Because it's
as legal as you can go.
so I'm not going to jail. But I'll say this: that might be the most hardcore RPG ever fucking made. That is a game where, from a plot perspective, it is fascinating. But like it is not like Final Fantasy at all. It's a first-person dungeon style game, but with this really interesting story that I guess is closer to Nocturne. You ever play Nocturne?
No.
You ever play any Shin Megami Tensei game that's not Persona?
No.
Okay, that I want to change your life. And,
Do it.
and do that. But
I'm open to it. What is it on?
Well, that one's. I don't recommend that to start with because it is old. That game aged bad. I'll show
okay with
you
that.
shit when I'm. Well, I'd recommend Digital Devil Saga first, honestly.
Okay.
But what's interesting, you play this high school kid, and basically demons attack. And then the world ends halfway through the game, and everybody you know is dead, but two people that are in your party. And the shtick of Shin Megami Tensei, and it's kind of similar to Undertale, is that you can talk to the demons and recruit. No, actually, if anything, it's closer to Pokemon, because you can take a demon who you're fighting against. Instead of take the experience, you can have a conversation. You might be able to convince them to join your party. And then you can fight with them. And then you can fuse them like in Persona and stuff like that. If anything, Pokemon's a ripoff of Shin Megami Tensei in a lot of ways. Because it was first, and they kind of stole a little bit of the mechanic. Anyway.
That's fine.
It's
I'll get into that. I could try it out.
It's worth playing, but man, it's not the first one you want to start with. It is as hardcore as it fucking gets. That game is not only like hard as balls. We're talking an RPG where you pick your stats, and you can fuck yourself over if you don't do it exactly right.
You gotta have some forethought.
And visually, that game is fucking old too. Like we're talking. Remember SNES or not even SNES, like NES 3D, where it was just like a maze and you walk forward and it's like, but everything's just like a plain wall pretty much. We're talking...
yeah, like the illusion of 3D, but you still have sprites.
It's pretty much like that.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking... Like, the game is dated as hell, but it's an interesting game.
Okay. Kind of like Wolfenstein sort of did.
It's old... No, a lot more rudimentary than Wolfenstein. Okay. I would... You ever play...
Like no frames of animation?
What's that fucking Addams Family game on the NES? Fester's Quest. You remember the 3D sections of Fester's Quest?
I never got real far in it.
Well,
I have it though. We can play it.
I'd rather not.
Okay.
But I would say that's a closer thing. But it's really old, and I've been playing it, and that is like that series is like the Sega of RPGs in the sense that you got Final Fantasy, which would be your Nintendo and your popular thing, and then this is like your really fucking dark, edgy brother who's just cool as shit. But only a few people fucking know about it because it's in Japan and nobody gave a shit. Cool. But it's so good.
I could get into it.
Yeah,
man.
You should, but like, we'll start with a different one.
Cool.
I'll get one on your PS3.
If you like our podcast, hit subscribe.
Yeah.
And go to mopcast.com, check out some other podcasts our friends do about different stuff. And also, we're going to be streaming during E3 this year, 2016 E3 stream. At least, we're going to try to do all of it. We'll let you know. Probably all of it.
We're gonna do them at least the main press events.
At least
we're going to at least do Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And is Nintendo there?
Are
they having one?
They don't have a. It's not at E3, but they usually have a Nintendo Direct.
Well, we'll try to stream for that too.
We will.
And yeah, so thanks for watching. Hit subscribe.
If you do you want to mention our new show, Atari Boy?
Oh yeah, we're putting. You know what? By the time this is up, Atari Boys will probably already be up. But if not, Atari Boys is a new segment we're going to do where we play Atari games and we talk shit.
Pretty much. It's kind of like what we're doing now, except there's a video game in front of it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I think it's gonna be fun.
Oh, it's already fun.
Yeah.
Also, comment, and no, just comment and decide. We want to decide if this should be our new member of the crew.
Should we have him? Or should we bring Max back?
It's not a choice between those two. It's do you want this one as well as Max?
Oh!
This one wants to be in the show.
You're going to get their cake and eat it too.
It's up to you. Let us know in the comments.
Just look at that face. It's up to you.
Bye.
You going to say no to that? Go ahead.
Can you say no to that face?